let's talk about closing costs and what that is. So your closing cost is a combination of bank fees, third-party fees, relaying what they charge us, we have to put on there, and your taxes and your homeowner's insurance. Now, in general, you're going to have your bank fee, which may include underwriting, processing, that sort of thing. Depending on the lender, everybody charges it a little bit different. So it can get kind of confusing, but we'll talk through that a little bit more. Then you also have your title insurance and your escrow. Now, title insurance insures the property against unknown liens. It also insures against the owner to make sure that they are truly the owner of the property that they're selling it to you. So, kind of important. And then last is the settlement fee, which is escrow. The escrow company charges a fee, and what they do is they divvy up everything. They make sure that the previous owner's loan got paid, anybody in between, and your loan is set up and recorded at the county. So they take care of all of that and sign off and certify the numbers and everything was done. Then you have your escrows, and we use the same word just to be confusing. I call it job security. But your escrows are your taxes and your homeowner's insurance, your property taxes and your homeowner's insurance, which is really your hazard insurance, fire, that sort of thing. And then you may have an additional insurance for flood, depending on where you are located and where the property is located, I should say. So we can cross-reference that based on the address. So there may be that additional cost in there. So when you are looking at your property taxes that are coming due, what they do is they look at when is the next tax date due. And it varies by state and area. And just because we're up here in the Northwest, Washington, they pay their taxes in April and October. Oregon, we only pay them once a year in November. However, in Oregon, for instance, the tax year only goes from July 1st to June 30th. But remember, I said we pay it in November. So we're going to collect a little bit of taxes when we close the loan so that we have that set aside for when your taxes come due next year. And then in your monthly payment, they will call it that it is escrowed. Your monthly payment will have your taxes insurance in there. So that when you pay each month, that goes towards that account, and then we pay the taxes and insurance out of that account at the end of the year when it comes due. So that's closing costs. Now, that can vary based on the sales price and the time of year because of the taxes and insurance difference, and what we negotiate with the seller. Sometimes we can get the seller to participate in that depending on what the market is. If we are asking for closing cost, just know that your offer with that is maybe not as strong as an offer not asking for closing cost. So if you are competing against several other buyers for a property, that can make a difference. So closing costs, that would be kind of the total of the numbers. Now there's a couple other ways you can cover closing costs. One, I said, have the seller pay for it. The other is rebate pricing. We could look at doing a little bit higher interest rate to give you a credit towards your closing cost. And then lastly, if there are other sources of funds such as 401k, gifts from family, things like that, can also help in covering those closing costs. So if you have any questions about those closing costs, give me a call.